All right, so today we're making a meatball sub sauce using garden tomatoes and garden peppers and then some other stuff. But later, check out the bottom of the screen here where it says, I don't know, you got the microphone and whatever. There's a little blue thing on the bottom here that says enhance your video experience using studio effects for Microsoft Edge. So just remember to check that out too. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna make some meatball subs today. We're using store-bought meatballs. But garden-grown tomatoes that were frozen and garden-grown peppers that were frozen. I'm gonna blend up the tomatoes and the peppers together in the blender over there. And then the meatballs are going into a pan in the oven at 350 till they're nice and brown. When you're doing this, you want to make sure you get enough salt into them. I like using garlic salt, onion salt, garlic powder, onion powder, and actual garlic clove. And then some onions. We got a whole large onion. This is a family-sized bag of meatballs. We'll freeze what's left over and have them again sometime. All our vegetables were grown with fermented plant juices this year and compost teas. Worked pretty well. We had a lot of rain this year, so I don't know how much of that nutrient got washed out. Yeah, I mean, with so many variables, it was hard to tell what was affecting what. Why the peppers weren't getting any peppers on them. And I know the pumpkin that we had in the mound, that plant did really well. We just had other obstacles. They grew so fast, they were splitting open. Tomatoes did well. They were a little set back. They didn't do, they didn't produce as much as usual. That could have been because we weren't using Miracle Grow. I don't know. Everything I've tasted so far, though, has been amazing, I think. This is some huge garlic. We got our little buddy Doug here waiting for anything to hit the floor. You. This usually doesn't take too long. I can usually get it done within an hour and it's ready to eat. I use the same recipe for like spaghetti sauces also. And you could probably use it for a pizza sauce too, I guess. Add more garlic. We're going to be using some of our hot pepper flakes that we made this year, dehydrated from the garden. Yikes. There we go. All right. I like to use a really, and then you can slice this stuff pretty thin. All right, meatballs are going to go in the oven. We're at 350. This oven has what do you call it? Convect bake. So that's what we're using today. Seems to work well. All right. We're getting the tomatoes and the peppers in the blender. Make sure it's put together correctly. There we go. When we make these tomatoes and freeze them, we'll take the core out, or the stem, whatever you want to call it, and we don't peel them or nothing, or at least I don't. Cut them into chunks, get them into bags, squish all the air out so there's just liquid in there and you'll have less frostbite. And with the skins on there, typically I don't really need the skins blended up to eat them, but a lot of people don't like that string type thing in their sauce. So blending them works good, and it incorporates the peppers really good into it. And I think, to me, these peppers, they don't have to be bell peppers. They can be any kind of sweet pepper, but to me, the peppers really make the sauce with the garden fresh tomatoes and a lot of salt. Right, Mom?
Right.
One of my relatives recently called and said their family member had used fresh tomatoes and were making a tomato sauce. And she asked me, she's like, because they've had my lasagna before, although it didn't turn out fabulous, they could at least taste it. That was one of the nights that I probably should order pizza. She asked, why didn't it turn out? I said, well, how much salt did you use? And she's like, well, I don't think she used too much. I'm like, you got to dump salt onto it. What's up, homegirl? All right, now the bell peppers are going to go in the blender. And then, for whatever reason, these bags always end up with a hole in them. So put the bag, when you thaw it out, if you're not using fresh ones, in a container, because the liquid's going to run out and you're going to get either a huge mess or you're going to lose all that liquid. And that liquid's going to help blend up these tomatoes. These peppers. So there's our garden fresh peppers. Or recently garden fresh peppers. We got a little bit of our juice here, tomato juice and pepper juice. Super clear stuff. It may look like water, but it's not. And then we're going to use a couple of cans of tomatoes to get the consistency right, and possibly some tomato paste. That's one of the tricks on getting it done. You can make a homemade sauce without spending a bunch of time boiling it down to get it to thicken, because these tomatoes have a tremendous amount of water in them. Here's what it looks like when the water drained out. The tomatoes are a little thicker. They're more of like a sauce now that they've been blended. And the green peppers, and that's going to turn a little green. But then that tomato paste will make it red again. So Put a little ice in there and you got a smoothie. Anthony Lester, how's it going? Like meatball subs? So I'm just going to add like half of this to this because we don't have a lot of tomato sauce in there yet. And then this is going to get put in there, just some generic, or I guess not so generic. I like a lot of garlic in it. A lot of people don't like a lot of garlic in it, but if you're making a really tomatoey sauce and you have these peppers in here, it takes a lot of garlic to overcome the richness of these garden fresh vegetables. And the sweetness too. I mean, you wouldn't believe how sweet some of this stuff is. All right, full disclosure, that is not a homegrown onion. We're gonna get this going. Medium to high heat, as long as you're standing here. I tend to not leave the kitchen so much unless, you know, you got 45 minutes or something. Which next week we're going to be making right around 18 pumpkin pies. Oh, we got a mess over here too, and that wasn't from me. What the heck? That must have been from the pizza last night. On the front of the cupboard here. It was that Savoy's pizza had a lot of sauce on it. And yes, I noticed it. Well, you know, I don't know if the first one I had, the first plateful I had, I don't think I put any pepper flakes on it. And I did notice it was spicier than any probably other pizza place around. But the next time I put pepper flakes on there, and yeah, it was definitely hot. Oh, let's see. I did have a thought here. Anyways. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. So these are homemade pepper flakes from this year to go with our regular peppers or any kind of sauce you make. Shoot, I put on salads. I tried it on ice cream one time. Wasn't too bad. You want like this stuff particularly, it's super hot, so I'm going to say half of a teaspoon because we really don't have a lot of liquid here to incorporate it in. And right now I'm smelling green pepper like crazy. So we're going to get some salt in it because you want to slowly add salt as you're going, right? So I'm going to add just some regular iodized salt first. Probably a teaspoon. Start out. That's not going to change the smell or anything yet, but you want to get the regular salt in there right away. You don't want to really get the salt into it by using the garlic salt and the onion salt, because then you will get too much onion and garlic flavor because you're still going to be adding your garlic cloves in there. You don't want to add the garlic cloves too soon because they get a better taste if you cook them too long. Onion powder, garlic salt, garlic powder. Oh, got an onion powder or onion salt. And then some black pepper, quarter teaspoon probably. For what I'm doing here, which is probably about a gallon, I'd say, by the time we're done. Tomato paste is just going to get enough to thicken it and give it some color because it gets like a red rusty color right now. The peppers give it a little red, give it a little brown kind of. They're green, but it turns kind of brownish when you're cooking it. Maybe that's from the salt. I don't know. But then at the end, I'm not using a recipe really. It's just kind of popping in, popping out. Hazelnuts. I go by smell. So it starts to steam and I just do something like this. And if it smells good to me, that's probably good. And then you taste a little bit. And that's when you add your final little bit of salt. Depending. I myself don't use a lot of salt. But you definitely have to put it in something like this. A lot of this stuff already has it in it. And that's why you'll see low sodium cans too. I typically won't grab the low sodium ones because it just tastes different, you know. And I like, although I don't use a recipe, I like everything to taste pretty close to the way it usually does, if that makes sense. All right. And these are huge cloves, so I'm going to cut them in half. And then with this sharp knife, you can cut it down to just a thin sliver pretty easily once I get it going here. It's pretty thin. That whole thing will go right in. And we are at a low simmer right now. And we're going to cook the sauce here just long enough to soften some of these onions up. And the meatballs, we're going to get them browned on 2 or 3 sides, and those are going to go in. I would suggest that you go to your local Walmart if you have one in your area and check out their sub buns that they have, and then or that they tend to have sometimes, most of the time, except for when you're looking for them. And then I like to toast them. So cut it open, throw in a thin layer of butter with some garlic salt, and toast it for a couple minutes, and then make your sub.
Traffic to stop.
Traffic in front of the house? Because oh yeah, they'll do that for the fire too. They're doing a controlled burn down the road from here, supposedly. Yeah, the pumpkin pies next week will be made 4 at a time, maybe 6. We've got enough racks in this oven to do 6 at a time. It used to take, what did it take, 10 hours or so? Or yeah, 10 hours to make 20 pies. Now I can get it done in like 5.5 hours with this big oven, so that's nice. You just gotta be on top of timers. You get like 3 timers set. Making these pumpkin pies, the first 15 minutes are at like 425 degrees. And then after that, they're in for 45 minutes at 350. Now, the filling is made by me, but the crusts are store-bought. I don't have the time to do all of it for all those pies. And it really, to me, that's the filling that makes the pie anyways. So I'm not a huge pie crust fan. But I tell you, they're not all pie crusts are created the same. Not mentioning names, but when COVID was going on and shelves were empty at places, Walmart has their Walmart brand and um, what is the other one? Doughboy ones or what? Pillsbury, and they were out of those. So we ended up going to Festival, and their brand had a sweet crust. It was still a pastry, flour pastry one or whatever, but it was sweet, and that totally threw off how my pies were, and I was pretty bummed out the way they turned out that year. But everything was a bummer for a couple of years then. So, anyways, we're gonna do a little taste here. Pretty raw right now, but we're getting close. So we can use the tomato paste, and we can put in the rest of our peppers. I'm gonna be a little strong on the green pepper factor, but it's all right. Once my sub is done and uh, on the toasted bun, then I will load it with some lettuce, some shaved Parmesan, and then douse it with some of these hot pepper flakes. And then that usually evens out everything. With me, if I normally have pepper flakes on something, if I forget to put it on there and I'm eating it, while I'm eating it, I'm like, boy, something just ain't right. And usually by the time I'm done, I come back into the kitchen, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot pepper flakes. All right. A little more salt. Because we still have the sweetness of the tomato there, and then there's the sweetness of the pepper and the regular flavor of the pepper. Another 3/4 of a teaspoon. And that still might not be enough. Check our meatballs. They're going good. All right. So, I got the speaker on, right? Yeah, okay. The microphone's still on. That's what it looks like here. Pretty easy. We just got to get those chunks of onion to turn pretty much clear. Then you little tomatoey. But actually, the salt will help that smell, the tomato smell. Not a lot of people aren't going to be upset with that smell. But yeah, I mean, it's right there. It ain't. We'll just get some more pepper flakes on it, and like I said, a little more salt probably later. Salt to taste. That's it. Now we just gotta wait for our meatballs to get done. Throw those in there, let it simmer for another 20 minutes or so after that. And that'll be about an hour. And you can eat these for a couple of days probably. But with this method, you always got plenty of time to clean up afterwards while you wait. That's what I'm going to do. Cheers.
Done, right?
No. But what?
They were texting you?
Mm-hmm. Those people I was talking to went last night or this morning? Just now, yeah.
When you said hi, somebody hi.
Yep. All right, and then remember to recycle. A nice big bag full. These come in handy. I mean, you get one that's a little ratty, use it for your recycling bag. You always toss it out and recycle it too. Oh, they don't have them there anymore? Oh. Well, you know, start going to garage sales. I imagine you got to be able to find them at garage sales pretty easy. Yeah, sure enough. But they won't be as cheap as dollar store. So you say. Oh. Piece of cake. Alright, put this on super low. Now it's getting to be a pretty good boil there. Alright. I don't have a problem using meatballs from a store or whatever, but they have to be cooked. There's so much grease inside these things. You'll see there'd be like 3/4 of a cup of grease when I'm done cooking them things. But anyways, they're gonna be another 10 minutes. Let that simmer. Go check out the scenery, take out the recycling. How long ago were you guys out with the dog then last? Okay, so he's ready again. Come on, Doug. All right. Show you guys his favorite toy. Come on. Hey. Dog barks at everything. Barking at my beehive now. Just recently been put out here, so he's not used to it, but we've also got a hunter that likes to park around the corner here, so anything that comes in the yard or is up here sitting, he likes to park at it. That's the inside of a beehive in this time of year. Hey, neighbor's coming home. Hey, yeah. We figure he's got some kind of neurological freaking thing that he just can't help but bark at everything. But he's a fun boy. He's got so much energy. He's only 18 months old, probably. Entertaining as hell. Most of the time. That it? All right, well, I guess he's done. Maybe not. Oh, thanks, Linz. Linz says it looks good. Homebro says, hey, Linz. Good to see you. Just waiting for that sauce to finish up. We're going to be using some regular Libby's pie filling. Libby's pumpkin pie filling. We're going to use some of that. And then some squash out of the garden. So we're going to use acorn squash. Oh, Zalins. Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm thinking about freaking putting this shit on the market for sure. You know, this is a regular zip line, but it wouldn't take much to freaking rig up something that would be enough for a dog. You know, this will hold me. You know, I'm 210 pounds now. But he loves. I mean, he'll play in the middle of the night. We'll come out here for him to go to the bathroom, and he'll go pee, and then he'll run right for it and zip around for a while, and yeah, pretty much. At first, he was chewing through that rope left and right. He'd get a hold of it and just chew on it, and finally, I taught him not to chew on it. Right? Right? Got a heck of a grip with them teeth. I can't believe you don't snap his neck when he goes running around the yard and coming back and grabs a hold of it. But yeah, for a puppy with energy like this one does, I mean, we're a 3-generation family around here, and it takes everybody to go and bring him out. Every time somebody walks out the door, he wants to go with because he wants to go run around outside. So all you got to do is let him out, and he takes his energy out. And it also builds up his strength, man. He's a strong motherfucker. Whoa! And yeah, he can catch stuff up in the air and stuff. He's an acrobat. See, we got another little hunting dog over here. This is what we're smoking on. Some bubble gum, outdoor, damn near seedless. There's like 5 seeds in there. Hey! At least he stays in the yard these days for the most part. For me at least. For other members of the family, he's not so. Whoops. Maniac. He's not so under control so much. And he does like to run out. Hey, Doug! I tell you what, you don't ever have to worry about anybody come in the yard unannounced. No lie. He's watching the zipper. He's playing on the zip line, but he's watching the mail guy. And that's our mailman. For whatever reason, he went down there. Probably so he doesn't get barked at. But he's staying in the yard. Now we got family leaving. So I'm going to have to get him under control again. Doug! Come here. Oh, you good? Here, say hi. Hello? Hey, come here. Sit down. Sit. Good boy. Just too much action going on right at the moment for a puppy, but it's good exposure. We're the last residents on this road from this mail service. So he's actually going to be turning around and coming over back this way. Hey, it's okay, puppy. It's okay. Some better clean your ears out again. He's going to get in the groomers next week, I think. Oh, yeah, doofus. That's okay. We live in a kind of a rural area, but we've got a industrial park right down the road. So there's a lot of big trucks that go by here. So he really doesn't get a lot of exposure to traffic. But what he does get exposure to is big stuff and then people effing around like that, pissing around in front of the house. And then anybody coming and going out of the yard, he's got to bark and chase. So as long as you keep him under control and he, gets more and more of that exposure, like, hey, come here. See, good boy. Hey, come here. Now, anybody else, he would have ran off and be chasing that car yet. Good boy. Now, as long as she gets the hell out of here right now, before more sirens goes by or another mailman goes by or something, watch, she'll stop and get some damn mail or something. Let's go. Oh, I tell you. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, and then just freaking sit there. But that's okay. I hope you're not trying to call me. I don't have my damn phone. Good boy. There you go. Okay, go get your toy. Oh. Well, has it been 10 minutes yet? Let's see. Maybe. Let's check the chat, huh? Sorry. Yes. He has a lot of fun around here. As long as he stays in the yard, which he does really well with that, he's got 5 acres mowed that he can run around on. If we could trust him to freaking not chase after somebody and run off into freaking nowhere, then we could trust him to run out in the woods and stuff like that. But he ain't allowed in the woods now. I mean, I'd bring him out there with me, but then he got the chance of him running off when he wants to. Because he's pretty damn independent. I'll tell you that. For the most part, he does what he wants. Cheers. That's our growth from this year. That's the bubble gum. All right, let's go check on our meatball marinara. And then That'll probably be the, oops, grab a recycling bag before it blows away. We get some tremendous winds around here, let me say. This year, our highest winds was approaching 70 miles an hour. All right. A little bit of a simmer, but it went down a little bit. I just didn't want it to boil. You don't want it to get scorched on the bottom. Nothing worse than scorched tomatoes. We'd be eating pizza again if I scorched it. So I hope the camera view's been halfway decent. Every time we come in and out, it does seem to frost up, looks like. Let's see, we got some napkins. Okay, now it looks a lot better. Where is it? Okay, right there. Okay. Our meatballs ought to be ready. Got just enough time to show you my pepper plant. It's 14 inches tall and 30 inches wide. And has 20 peppers on it. Right around there. I haven't counted in a while. We use a few and then a couple will grow or whatever. It just came inside. We're using a 100-watt LED HLG horticulture lighting group light. Lately, we've had plenty of sunshine from outside to sustain houseplants or whatever, but we're trying to. Oh, it looks like maybe some of them leaves on that. Got some fruit trees growing here too, and I don't know if it's because they're new leaves or maybe they got burnt or something. I'm not sure. We'll have to look at those. We're going to grow this throughout the winter. And the plan is to get it, substantially bigger to see if it can support more than just like a dozen peppers at one time, and get them to grow a little faster. Right now, we're able to pick a couple every few days, which keeps us going because we don't eat a lot of green pepper. And at some point, we could probably freeze some of them. But like this one branch here has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decent size, they're smaller, houseplant size ones, and then one small one. But those are lady bells pepper. The plan is then to grow this as massive as possible. Keep it low because you only got so much viable canopy depth, So why not spread it out? You don't want to grow tall because anything underneath that foot or so of canopy, viable canopy, anything under that is just wasted space. So grow it out instead of up. Okay. These are dioecious. They will live forever, potentially, um, and they will pollinate themselves, although they do like to be pollinated by other means. But I'm trying to see if you get more square foot of canopy, that you'll get more fruit from it. Right now we're stuck at like 10 or so, and then they start to slow way down. Although we came inside, next summer will tell the tale. If we put it out next summer and it gets 40 peppers on it and they grow fast, then I know we got something there. But if we grow a huge plant and it'll still only 10 peppers at one time, then it's pretty much pointless. Another smell test. Oh boy, that little bit of salt really helped. Oh, we got another pepper here. We should probably cut up and put in there. The meatballs got to be done by now. Then, yep, look at them. Then I'm going to just scoop those out instead of dumping them in because it's got so much fat and grease in there. Not going to put that in the sauce. It's still going to have some in the meatballs, so uh, it's going to have some on the meatballs too. There's going to be plenty of grease for flavor in this. Plenty running off too. Okay. There you are. A little smell. This kind of funky shaped spoon, but if you can get a spoon to stand up in there, it's right. It's the right consistency. But this has got a point on the end, so this is an extra tricky spoon. See? There we go. And it's simmering, so that's even worse. You can see it. I mean, whoa. Anyways, that's what I got. Take your. I swear, I don't know. I have not found a bun yet, and the wheat ones are just as good as the white. That's what you're looking for right there. Cheap, boom, 50 cents a bun. I think the meatballs cost like $7 or $8. What does an onion cost? $1. Garlic $1. The tomatoes and peppers probably $2,000 because that's what it costs to grow stuff like that on your own these days. The time it takes. But let me tell you, I'd pay $100 for one of them subs. Right? Anyways, thanks everybody for watching. And if you're 45 or older, talk to your doctor, schedule a colonoscopy. Thanks, Lance. Appreciate you hanging out. Adios. Oh, yeah, and check out the pumpkin pies next week. We'll see you in the chat later. Oh, hey, and I'll wrench you guys up too. Here, let's try that now. I learned this the other day and then lost how to do it, but boom. And standard, boom. Save. All right, there's Linz. I believe now, the next time you comment, you should have a wrench just like everybody else can do. Now I'm doing it. Believe it? Look at there. Thanks. Appreciate you. Take it easy.